Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Teixeira. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the main card. So in our first fight, we have about in the women's strawweight division, Claudia Gadelha versus Xiaonan Yan. Her name be reversed sometimes, but yeah, Xiaonan Yan. Gadelha versus Yan. So looking at this fight right here, we have a pretty interesting matchup right now. And Yan is actually the favorite, I think, because of momentum right now. But really looking deeper into it, I'm going to lean to Gadelha in this one. Like, not trying to make no quick pick or a prediction with this one, but I'm really leaning to Gadelha after looking at the stats. So Yan is she's trending right now. She's getting better with each fight. She's had a good performance over Karolina Kowalkiewicz, and like she beat Hill convincingly. Whereas Gadelha, well, she didn't finish her, but she beat her like it was clear that she won. She outstruck her and whatnot. But whereas Gadelha really lost to Hill, well, you know, that MMA math, but stylistically wise, Hill has better takedown defense overall than Yan. And looking at statistics, like Yan can put up a lot of volume and put a lot of power, but she's not a knockout artist. And also when you look at fight rounds where she gets taken down, and she usually loses those rounds and spends like too much time in those rounds, like her output significantly drops. So that shows me a fighter that's not as comfortable with their grappling as they need to be. In fact, she's down. Karolina Kowalkiewicz doesn't really mean a lot. Kowalkiewicz has been on the downtrend. Like, you think Gadelha is on the downtrend, Kowalkiewicz is really on the downtrend. After she got knocked out by Andrade, she really has not been the same woman. Michelle Waterson was able to take her down, and even best, prettiest, or cleanest of technique takedowns, they would take her down round after round and dominate her. So it's not that impressive. Beating Karolina Kowalkiewicz don't mean a lot of anything. Maybe the fact that she struck with her, but there has been other women who have struck with her and outstruck Karolina Kowalkiewicz since she got knocked out by Andrade. Like, on striking and grappling overall, she has not been the same fighter since losing to Andrade. And you talking about, so impressed by what Xiaonan Yan did to Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Claudia Gadelha took her down and submitted her in like 20 seconds. So she did way more, and that was a better Karolina Kowalkiewicz. So that's not the best fight to try to say, oh, she's improving so much. Claudia Gadelha really beat her like she was not even a competition. So not going there. So as far as what I see statistically wise, in rounds where Karolina Kowalkiewicz, not Karolina, but when Yan gets taken down, she typically loses the round. Her output typically drops like almost 50% or more sometimes. When I look at, like, don't take this math for actual math, but looking at the stats and looking at her fights, she's like simply neutered by when she gets taken down or has to deal with grappling. And Gadelha is still one of the better grapplers in the division. And look at her fight against Gadelha. You know, her fight against Hill, even though she really lost that fight to Hill and got a gifted decision, it showed that in that fight that her output was like 80. She landed 83 significant strikes, and that shows that her cardio at least improved. She's not improving as a fighter, but at least she's improving as far as how long she can like go and like not gas out. Like, she's not gassing out. She's not as good as she used to be, but she's not really gassing out in these fights. And the last fight where she really looked bad was against Andrade, and that's really just Andrade just manhandling her. So it's not really a case of cardio. So I feel in this fight that Gadelha can get some takedowns, and like I said, drop the output of Yan, and then strike with her and keep the strike total close, get some takedowns, get some control. And I think she could dominate the grappling aspect pretty easily. Might have some issues getting some takedowns, but once she gets her to the ground, she'll score points off there, be able to keep the strike total close and edge the fight pretty much off her takedowns and control time. So in this fight, I have Claudia Gadelha via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, we have Heinisch versus Brendan Allen. So this is a pretty good fight right here. You got the upcoming Brendan Allen, who's just looking like a true prospect, a future contender, or is a contender, either way you want to see it. Boxing him may different, but either way, I'm going to say he's a contender because he already pretty much looking at the rankings right now, if he's not already ranked. And I'm not even going to look into that, but either way, Brendan Allen, if not already ranked, should be ranked and will be ranked soon. So a true contender in this division. Submitted Kevin Holland, submitted Tom Breeze, and been looking pretty solid in this division for some real good guys, and already got victories over them, and finishes, not just victories, but finishes over them. So solid grappler, good cardio, ever improving striking, good frame, good everything. Going against Heinisch. And I see this fight right here. I think Heinisch has a style that could cause Brendan Allen issues, but I think he also has some patterns that are really going to allow him to lose his fight because of his tendencies and what you see. Like, so his takedown defense isn't the best. He has good scramble ability, and he's comfortable getting taken down because he knows he can get back up. And like he has good cardio, so these guys could take him down, but they're going to gas himself out trying to, wrestle him. But you're going against a young guy like Brendan Allen who can grapple you nonstop for 3 rounds and not going to get tired. Like, he'll get tired, but he's not going to be one of those guys that get so tired that they just literally just become a punching bag. He's going to be working nonstop on top of you. And then you give him those opportunities, he's going to start to find ways to shut off your exes and like really start to hold you down. So I like see the fact that Heinisch is so comfortable giving up takedowns and going backfire against him, going against this young grappler in Brendan Allen, who's not really just a grappler. He's a well-rounded fighter. So I think he can hold his own with Heinisch on the feet. But I think Heinisch is the better striker. But overall, the better fighter is Brendan Allen to me in this one. Like I said, I feel like in the grappling, he can definitely has the huge edge in that event, in that area. And the fact that Heinisch will be so comfortable going to the ground and giving up takedowns is not going to bode well for him. So you don't give up takedowns. You might be able to scramble up and get back early. You might feel like that's smart and it's working for you, but eventually you're going to get taken down again and again. And probably by that third time, if needed, he's already going to start shutting off your exits and really start to hold you down, start to land ground and pound, start to transition and like I say, lock you down on the ground and like I said, put you in a very bad position you don't want to be in. But Heinisch is a tough fighter, hard to put away. So I think he is able to get us fight, but I think there's going to be some tight submission, some close submission attempts. Be a lot of ground and pound. He's probably going to get bust up on the ground. Probably still competitive, high-paced fight. Like I said, Heinisch is a cardio machine. He's not going to try to like lay down easily for anyone, but the fact that he's giving up these takedowns is going to backfire against him, and he's going to lose a decision for that. Getting taken down, getting control, getting bust up on the ground, and probably looking to load up on these strikes or trying to land some power, to come back on these fights. It's going to get him taken out even easier because you're going to be trying to look for strikes to put the fight away because you're going to be back on the scorecards. So basically, the takedowns in control of Brendan Allen and the tendency of Heinisch to give up takedowns because he believes so much in his scramble ability and his feet in his cardio and his ability to get back to standing. So in this fight, I have Brendan Allen via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Ronnie Barcelos versus Khalid Taha. So this is a match where I see really cut and dry. I see two fighters kind of similar, definitely not the same guys, but in the broadest of sense, two guys that are similar, but one guy is just better. And to get it said right from the jump, Ronnie Barcelos is the better guy. You got two guys with pretty decent striking, but Taha not really the most technical striker. He does got power. He's explosive, athletic, and so is Barcelos. But early on, Taha definitely loads up and explodes more with his power, whereas Barcelos kind of a slower starter in some fights, but he's much more cleaner with his technique on the striking. The much cleaner wrestler, grappler. And Taha definitely doesn't have the best wrestling. We saw in his fight with Nad Armani. Nad Armani was able to grapple him and take him down and control him. And even in his fight against Bruno Silva was able to take him down and control him. Like, not without much issue. He was able to kind of rally and get his own submission off on Bruno Silva. But at first he was still getting taken down with much ease. Now you're going against probably the best wrestler you'll have fought by far. So I just really think if Barcelos wants to, he can just out-wrestle him all day. But I think he's going to fight a full well-rounded fight. Probably let him, let him get that pop out of his punch early. Then start to work on him, start to pressure him, break him down. Then start to mixing takedowns, ground and pound him. And like I said, pretty much stall him out and then tap him out in that third round. So like, let him kind of get that pop out early, maintain that distance, use your technique to be smart. Like I said, let him load up, let him try to explode, make him miss, counter him. Then keep walking him down, wear him down, and then start to let you unload, start to, pick up the volume with your own combinations. Start to look for the body shots that was going to put him down, find a little tempo shots. Then transition to the takedown, start taking him down, and like I said, wearing on him, transition, ground and pound, break him down, and then that third round, get that submission. So in this fight, I have Ronnie Barcelos via third round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the heavyweight division, Andre Arlovski versus Tanner Boser. So we got the former heavyweight champion in Andre Arlovski, with the former heavyweight champion, the heavyweight champion like 100 years ago, but nonetheless a champion for life in Andre Arlovski. Still hanging around, still relevant in this division, though he probably will never really, definitely won't hold the belt again, probably won't even challenge for the belt again, but still hanging around. That means a lot for how long he's been in the sport. So, and also for the fact that he was on a long winning streak, long losing streak at one point. And it was like people were telling him to retire, and then he went on a long winning streak, and then he went on some what's called ups and downs, more downs than ups. But yeah, he's been able to hang around. He's still technical, still can hold his own with a lot of the decent fighters, and a lot of the top 10 fighters in the heavyweight division. But top 5 really not hanging there, but top 10, top 15 can beat a lot of those guys and have beat some of them. So yeah, Andre Arlovski, kudos to him for being able to stick around for as long as he has in the career that he had, and to be all the way to the top of the sport and still hang around all these years later. So props to him. But I see this fight right here. I think both of them have similar styles, or at least fight kind of similarly at this given point in their careers. Tanner Boser likes to fight, like, he's not the highest paced fighter. He likes to use his angles, like to slow the pace of the fight down, like to chew your leg up with his kicks. Then likes to come over top with that overhand. But pretty much like a fighter that likes to angle and find his target. Like he wants to angle, find his target. He's not a guy that's gonna be out there doing 100 punches around. He's definitely not that guy. Arlovski not that guy. Arlovski will do blitz in there, but he's also a fighter at this point in his career, using angles, slow the fight down because he's an older fighter. He's chinny, so he don't want to be in these wild exchanges. He wants to keep the fight technical where he'll have the advantage, being that he's a former champion, been in the game so long, knows so much. So he wants to slow the fight down, be more technical, and he feels he can beat a lot of people there. He probably feels I could beat everyone like that if he's still in the sport. You're not in the sport if you don't feel like you can be the best. And he feel like technical wise, I could beat everybody, or at least just about everybody. Now the guys I can't beat technically, maybe I can knock them out or find some other area. But either way, he slows the fight down and keeps it more technical, keep the angles and keep that range, and kind of dictates when, dictates and controls the range to his likelihood that suits him. But yeah, but I see this fight. I think Tanner Boser has the X factor in this fight, or a couple X factors. He's the younger fighter. He's the more durable fighter, a little bit faster fighter, and also the leg kick. I think kicking, like, you got a fighter that's old, you got a fighter that likes to move. When you got a good leg kick, you can stop all those, and you can like kick his leg, that slows down his momentum. And then you got an old guy that's chinny in front of you once you can take away his wheels. And then when he can't move, you can better circle him into your power, and I think that's what he does. I think it's a kind of slow fight to start. Tanner Boser trying to find his range and his angles, and Arlovski, they kind of having a chess match early, but then Boser's able to find the leg kick pretty early, maybe a minute in, and starts to, invest in that area. And then the fight goes on. I think that he starts to wear that lead leg out. Arlovski isn't able to move as much, and Boser's able to circle him into that overhand right. And I think he catches him with it over the top, or he either he catches him with the overhand right, or he catches him with the overhand right, like by like feinting and getting getting Arlovski to draw, or, give him a look, get Arlovski to do one of his blitzes. And the fact that his leg gonna be chewed up, he's gonna be a little bit slower. It's gonna be a bigger window of time, and he catches him over the top. But either way, I see the overhand being the kill shot and dropping Arlovski in that second round and putting him out in that second round. So in this fight, I have Tanner Boser via second round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the light heavyweight division, Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira. So in this prediction, I'm not gonna really lean too much on who they fought and who they beat and who not, this and that. They both fought decent guys and beat decent guys. Thiago Santos came close to beating John Jones, but he did not beat John Jones. But here I am talking about who they beat. And let me talk about the ages too for a split second. So we could act like Glover Teixeira is so old, and he is. But Thiago Santos isn't the youngest spring chicken. He's not this guy that's like was in his 20s and having these setbacks, and all of a sudden now he hit his prime at like just turned 29 or 30 or 31, and now he's getting everything together, and he's just an evolved new fighter. Thiago Santos is 36, so he had his ups and downs, and pretty much his whole prime was ups and downs. Then 34, 35, he found his division, and now we see the Thiago Santos of now. But this guy is not the youngest spring chicken. This guy is not the most reliable guy, has never been the most reliable guy. He looked good at light heavyweight, but when you really look at the people he beat at light heavyweight, not the best competition necessarily. Like, he beat an old Jimmy Manua, old chinny Jimmy Manua. Beat matter of fact, on his winning streak, he beat two middleweights. He beat Eric Anders on short notice at 205, who's really a 185er, and he beat Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland has got a lot better since then, but still, I think he would beat Kevin Holland. So, but still, it was a decision over a debut in or a 2 or 3 fight in Kevin Holland. So good win, but it's not like they'll say anything as far as his 205 run or anything. So a lot of his wins on his streak is not really the best. And even you could say, oh, he did this and that to John Jones. It was what's it called? It's still a loss at the end of the day. He didn't do enough, and he the one who got dropped in the fight. He the one who got injured in the fight. So even try to look further than that, he took all the damage. He got bust open. So you could say, oh, point wise and this and that, or he fought John on one leg, but you got injured in the fight. You didn't get injured coming to the fight. You got injured in the fight. But either way, let's not get too far into that. But either way, not too impressive as far as he did knock out Jan Blachowicz. That's the biggest win in his whole streak. Because Jan Blachowicz is the champion. Blachowicz was already a solid fighter before then. But yeah, that's really the most credible thing on his streak. Not kind of what he did to John Jones. People gonna look at the John Jones thing, but the most credible thing he did was beat Blachowicz. That's the most credible thing he did. Not lose to John Jones, but beating Blachowicz. But yeah, now look at this fight right here. Thiago, let's go back to the John Jones thing again. John Jones really didn't try to wrestle or grapple with him. He probably saw Jorge Masvidal knock Ben Askren out, just to fight, literally the fight before his fight. So I'm not going to try to do no takedowns and get caught with no flying knee, because this guy will explode and do stuff. So I'm just going to strike with him and not risk getting caught with nothing crazy and be put on nobody's highlight reel. So John Jones really didn't try to wrestle at all in that fight. And really, John Jones hasn't been trying to wrestle too much in his most recent fights either. Like, he probably just, I don't know, probably feel it takes too much energy to do that, and he doesn't feel like doing that and feel like he can outstrike everyone. It's not even just trying to prove anything to anybody. At this point, I just think him trying to, like, he feels like that's tiring now, and it's less tiring to strikes. And also, I don't know. But either way, he didn't try to wrestle too much in that fight. And looking at Thiago Santos' career, when people who have grappled him, he has looked pretty bad. Like, Eric Spicey was able to submit him in one round. Masasi was able to TKO him real quick and, like, take him down, wait for him to stand up and knock him out. And a couple other fights. And also Eric Anders was able to take him down 6 times. A guy that came on short notice from a lower weight class, didn't have the cardio, was able to take him down like 6 or 7 times. So that's his wrestling defense wrestling isn't the best. Technically, he isn't the most technical, pretty fighter. He's explosive, athletic. He's a physical specimen, but he's not the super technical fighter. Like, he's more technical than you'll give him credit for, but he's definitely not this technical, masterclass fighter, for sure. And going against Glover Teixeira, I think stylistically wise, like, let's go back to Glover Teixeira, who's like 41 versus 36-year-old Thiago Santos. I think Glover Teixeira has issue with, like, clean, technical strikers in a way, like, especially technical boxers who can, find those punches and find those clean shots. Where Thiago Santos just kind of explodes. Like, he might see an opening and he'll explode, but he's not going to see that. He's not going to really set too much stuff up out there. He got a couple setups, but really not the most set up fighter. He kind of explodes and on thing. Like, he see an open target, he see a face, he explodes. He see an opening, he explodes. But he's really not like the most technical fighter. Far from an amateur or a sloppy technique, but he's not that, like I say, he's not that super IQ fighter. That's what I'm saying. So I see what against Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira has like a shelling style, and really to find the best shots on Glover Teixeira, you got to really, because like he has a shell style, so you got to find stuff up the middle or stuff around. You got to really be accurate, really be setting your shots up. And I don't think Thiago Santos has it. Like, he can probably find it because, like I said, he's so explosive, and like even if you do block, he can still hurt you through your guard and stuff. Like, he's explosive like that. But I feel like in those same exchanges, Glover Teixeira can kind of roll the punches, block them, beating his little shell up defense, get in on the inside, get takedowns on Thiago Santos. Like I said, Thiago Santos really isn't like jabbing you up and getting you to move your hand or to react to the jab or anything, to come around with a hook or getting you to react to the jab or getting you to react to a feint and slipping an uppercut. He's not that type of guy. I feel like he was that type of guy. Maybe he can like really find those clean shots on Glover, but I feel like the shots that he's going to be landing on Glover are going to be powerful and probably can still knock him out even if Glover Teixeira is defending them well. But I feel like Glover, really, for the most part, it's going to be shots that Glover Teixeira can like either survive or really be able to take off a significant amount of damage and like weather through, be able to get in pressure and get takedowns on Thiago Santos. And Glover Teixeira is one of the best grapplers that Thiago Santos will have ever faced. Glover Teixeira has underrated wrestling and definitely super top-notch BJJ guy, but he's definitely world-class in BJJ. Black belt for a long time, competing in competition. So if he gets stuck underneath Glover Teixeira, it's not going to be a good night for him. And I think that's what's going to happen. Glover Teixeira is going to be able to shell in, take some shots, give some shots, especially maybe come over the top because Thiago Santos hangs his hands down, and we saw him get knocked out by David Branch or TKO by David Branch, and that's definitely a punch inside Glover Teixeira's arsenal. So what I see, like I said, Glover Teixeira shelling up, taking a lot of good shots, giving some shots, like countering, pressuring, getting him some takedowns, and I think Thiago Santos might be able to explode for a little while, but eventually Glover Teixeira is going to start to wear on him, having that big light heavyweight on top of him. Never had anyone that big on him. Never had anyone that good at grappling with that size and those heavy hands on top of you, dropping around the pound. That's really the think he breaks Thiago Santos down, start to get one takedown, Thiago Santos pop up, another takedown, but eventually, once Glover Teixeira starts getting control of him, he's not going to be getting up and start getting hit with ground and pound, getting shelled up. I think by the third round, he gets weathered down by the takedowns and ground and pound of Glover Teixeira, and Glover Teixeira just starts to unload on him until he gives up his back and taps him out with that rear naked choke in the third round. So in this fight, I have Glover Teixeira via third round submission. And that concludes my fight predictions for the main card of UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Teixeira. And as always, thanks for watching.